Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen ARTERBURN. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, and welcome to New Life Live. So glad you're with us. And when I say us, I'm talking about Dr. Sherry Keffer and Dr. Alice
Howdy,
Benton.
folks. Hey, it's good to be with you both, as always.
As always, and really grateful to get to do this program with you two women. You really have done so much good work with so many good people, and I feel privileged to be with you. And anybody wanting to join us, 1-800-229-3000 is our phone number. And I have calls already lined up, so I'm just going to jump right in and go to them. And the first one is going to be, well, I think her name is Norma from St. Louis, Missouri, and she listens on Sirius XM satellite radio. Hi there, how are you today?
I'm good.
How could we help?
Hello.
Hi.
I am in December to speak with you guys, and on that day was a really, really bad day. I called about my son being arrested for a horrible crime. I don't know if that will jog your memory on that. I was really in a dark place, struggling with dealing with the reality of my son, who's never done anything in his life, suddenly being charged with 3 federal crimes that are just unspeakable.
Wow. What's happened since then?
A lot has happened. Immediately after the call, when I was talking to the screener, a lady had called in, and if she's listening, hi, Lynn. She had experienced what I've been going through, and she left her number, and it has been an amazing blessing to my life. My son is now convicted of those 3 crimes.
Wow.
As of this month, and will be serving a federal sentence. I've been praying for his salvation daily, and I've been trying to minister to him in a way that doesn't push him away, which is not easy. I'm really terrified for him. Fortunately, he's safe, and so when it came time for, in the interim,
ask us how we tell us how we could help you today.
Okay. Beyond the update, all right. So my ex, his stepfather, passed away January 1st, and I had the horrible duty to tell him that, and I've recently learned that his biological father died 16 days before his stepfather.
Oh, my goodness.
I found that out a week before his trial, and I have not been able to tell him. And I'm really, really, really scared to tell him because of his mental state, his depression, and he's still in a county jail where he's not getting anything.
Yeah.
He's not getting, they're not allowing in any clergy, they're not allowing visitors, nothing.
Okay.
And I had EVERYMAN'S BATTLE sent to him, and he said he gleaned through it. I don't know what to do, not to crush him.
Well, I'm glad that you called us. We'll give you some ideas that might be helpful to you right after this. We'll take a break, come right back for more of New Life Live. It is July, and anybody supporting this ministry, we send you a copy, our way of saying thank you, a wonderful devotional called 100 Days to Freedom from Anxiety and Fear. You can get that at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Be back right after this. Hi, this is Steve ARTERBURN from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve ARTERBURN and Chris Williams will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back talking to Norma. Norma, I just cannot imagine how tough this must be for you. Just really, really hard to accept. Here's my son, and you didn't really think he had any kind of problem, and now he's in jail. We talked about this during the break, and we feel for you as a mother. It just must be so tough. We'll share some ideas with you, and let's start with you, Sherry, and then we'll go to Alice.
Were you aware that your son was hurting when he was growing up? I mean, has he been sexually molested? I don't know what the federal offense is, but is it something in the area of sexual exploitation, maybe of minors? Is that what it was about?
Yeah,
okay.
I think you're remembering my call. I would say, yes, I was aware that he didn't feel like he fit in our family because he knew that the dad that was raising him wasn't his biologically. And he never knew his biological father until he was 26 when I finally was able to find him. So I know that he did, but like through his teenage years, whenever, we had the attitude and the angst, and we chalked it up to typical teenage behavior. We did not recognize that he was clinically depressed, and he has never had treatment for clinical depression, and was about to go into treatment when he committed this crime.
Yeah. Your son, bless his heart. Your son, bless his heart. Your son, bless his heart, probably was nursing his depression with porn. And that probably...
I think so, too.
Yeah, I think he probably started at an early age, maybe 8, 9, that's when a lot of young boys get a hold of it. And it's sad because it sounds like as a mom, you weren't aware of that. You weren't aware.
Well, I caught my other son with a pornographic book. But this son, I never caught him with anything like that. But when he was a teenager, whenever they were on our first computer we had, I did find stuff on there, and I tore into him and told him, look, you could get your dad and I into a lot of trouble with this. You're not, you're underage, but we're not. And,
So and it's so hard in situations like this. We're all listening. Our heart is aching with you, Norma. It is hurting. Like so many moms, like this fear of God is in their heart right now, because there's a lot of moms that are listening with kiddos that have devices, and they're going, right? This can happen. One thing I hear that didn't happen is that he didn't get into counseling or didn't have intervention. And I hate the porn industry. I hate it with a passion. I think it comes right from the pit of hell. I do. And because
I agree.
it hurts
I
so
agree.
many people, and your son has been hurt by it, correct? But one thing I want Alice to be able to talk about it. She had some really great insight during the break, and I don't want to steal her thunder. But it's really how to help you best now, and answering your question, what to do with the information about your son. I think your son is crushed. He's crushed, and the issue is now: do you wait to tell him until he's in more of a federal prison, or do you tell him now? How is he going to feel about you not telling him? The longer the clock ticks, right? If it's 2 years from now when he's finally sentenced, because it can take time. Right now with COVID, everything's slow. But is he going to go, why didn't you tell me 2 years ago? Why did you keep it from me? Alice, do you have thoughts?
What is your fear, Norma, of the worst thing your son might do if you crush him?
If the information crushes him, you're not going to crush him, but
That's
the
a better
information,
way to put it. Thank
right?
you for that correction. What are you afraid he'll do?
I still am deeply afraid that he'll take his own life.
Yeah. And are you afraid for his
And
salvation?
I know that. Every minute of every second of every moment. Yes.
And
I pray for his salvation constantly.
your fear is well placed, because of course all of that is in question, and he's at very high risk. So it's a legitimate fear. I think in your fear, you're compelled to try to control him and the information he has and the feelings that he has. And I think it keeps you stuck in a position with him where you're trying to manage something that's out of your control. And I hate saying this to you, because how awful to hear this when you're in this great depth of pain and you just want to save your son. But I don't think you have accepted that his choices and his decisions are out of your control, even though you know that in your head. And I think it might keep you working harder than he does. You want something for him. You want health for him. You want stability for him. I don't know if he wants it for himself or not. But what I want you to do, because this is what's in your control, I want you to take what I'm saying into prayer and take it into counsel of, are you able to work towards, with God's help, the serenity prayer, of living out the serenity prayer. It's humanly impossible with what you're going through. What I'm saying is ridiculous without God's help. But with him, it's possible.
And are there
That's
secrets?
profound. Thank you.
Yeah. Are there secrets that are being harbored? Right? There's been so many secrets. This would be another secret. Like, how can you really be an authentic mom if you're not able, if you feel like you're holding this huge, big secret?
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll do. I'm going to send you a Life Recovery Bible and the grief workbook that he could go through if you decide, now is the time, because it could create a bigger reaction for him to not know if it's 2 years down the way. And I think you could tell the people at the jail what you're going to reveal to him, so they know that he might be at greater risk for suicide or self-destruction, whatever. But it really is, I think what you might hear from us is, this is a horrible thing for you to be going through, but you can't control the outcome of reality here. And I just feel really, really bad for you that you can't. It's a horrible situation all around.
I just think of Chuck Colson, who was in jail, and it was there that he met his Heavenly Father, right? I mean, he didn't know Jesus until he was behind bars. And I'm praying that for your son right now, Norma. I'm praying that God that he'll find his Heavenly Father there.
Yeah. That's right.
in the jail cell.
Yeah, we'll ask everyone to pray, and I hope and pray that something good can come from that. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need some help. If you've got a child that's really struggling, I'll tell you, this thought of it's just a phase has caused us, given us a good excuse not to do more than less. And anybody can say that, it's easy to say it, and because it often is just a phase. But oh my goodness, the earlier we can intervene, the better it is always going to be. All right, let's go to Linda. Linda's calling us here, and we'll talk with her. And Linda, you are on with Sherry Keffer and Dr. Alice Benton from Kansas City, listening on the internet. How are you today?
Hi, I'm okay. Thank you for taking my
Good.
call.
You're welcome. How could we help?
Well, so my question is, I've been married for 3 years and did not live with my then boyfriend before we got married, prior to getting married. And 15 months ago, I discovered that he's been watching porn, and I didn't confront him immediately, but I did wait and got to get myself calmed down and did some other research and looking at him, and discovered that it was also cheating.
Oh my
And
goodness.
upon confronting him, he was in denial about the whole thing. Where I'm like, it's right there on TV. You can't deny what's there on the computer.
Yeah.
Rather, you can't deny the phone calls, the messages, the texting
Sure.
I see.
How long did you
And
guys
just
date
went in
before you got
denial.
married? How much dating was there before marriage?
2 years.
2 years. Wow. I'm so sorry. Horrible.
Yes. Yes, that's how my stomach feels.
Is he
Horrible.
still denying it, or has he admitted, yeah, I wasn't doing the right thing?
He admits that he has secrets. I get stressed out. I use this. There are things that I look at a little bit, or I've just done some flirting. He's on that brink, not fully admitting it, but
Mm-hmm.
my not being there for him when he needs me, how he needs me, separated from him has affected him. And he's
Okay.
just like, he doesn't like it.
Are you two are living apart
And
now?
so, yes. The fighting, my trusting him not coming clean. I became really angry, just trusting him. Like, I don't even know who you
Sure.
are.
And
So
Linda, tell
I
us
separated.
tell us the structured help you've gotten and what have you asked of him?
So I've not gotten any structured help, not even from my pastor or anything like that, because I've been completely embarrassed about it. I did admit it to
sure.
my parents, and then his mom wanted to know because we were really close what was going on. So I told her, which I thought was really a mistake after the fact.
Mm-hmm. So
But
what's
they're
the
the only
question
two
for
that
us
I've
then?
told.
What's the question for us? How can we help?
You've got your program where married couples go get help. I want to know how to get this guy to go to one of your marriage retreats so that we can work on this thing, because I do love him. I didn't marry him to get a divorce.
Okay.
But I'm not going to
And-
stay
and
or
Lin-
go
Let
back.
me
Linda-
tell you
Not
something real quick.
in denial.
Let me tell you something real quick. So he wanted you to feel responsible for his problem, and if you go to the marriage workshop, you're kind of enforcing that or embracing that, the both of you getting help. He needs to go get help himself for his problem, and then once he has started to do some great work there on that problem, which is separate, distinct, and apart from you, no matter who he married, he would have had that problem. He needs to go deal with that problem. Really important he betrayed you so quickly, important that he has great therapy, going to Every Man's Battle, getting in a men's support group. Then, if he's working on that stuff, now you've got some hope to go to work on your marriage together. But he's got a lot of work to do, and you've got work you can do in the meantime. But I always recommend that miracles happen and people go to the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. But like in your case, he needs to be told and see how he responds to go get help for the problem he has. Sherry, you have a thought here?
Well, hey, girl, my heart breaks for you. When I'm hearing you, I was thinking he's not in denial. He's actually in deception. He's minimizing.
Okay.
Yeah, because they know what they're doing. I only know this from working with the men, right, that are sexually acting out. They're not, they minimize, yes, they ignore, they avoid, they don't want to go there. They don't want to tell us what they've done because they're afraid it's going to blow up the relationship. But until he gets his arms around, like Steve said exactly about the sexually acting out, there's not going to be a lot of traction for you. But this is the thing. It's my story as well, Linda, and I have a lot of hope for women, and I have a lot of hope for families. And I think you just heard me say to Norma how much I hate the porn industry. I hate it. I just, one of Satan's name is Abaddon, which means a bottomless pit. It's just that. But, girl, I hear a baby, right? I hear, okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of reason to fight for your marriage. And there's a lot of reasons to fight, but we want to help you know what to do. I'm going to have Steve send you a copy of my book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal. Because there is a clear roadmap. There's a clear roadmap, girl, that you can have to be stronger and wiser as you're going through this.
We'll come back, give you a couple more comments of encouragement here, but we'll go to this break. You're listening to New Life Live, and if you need help, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to come alongside.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The New Life Every Man's Battle online workshop can help.
After 7 years, he just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
The Every Man's Battle workshop is being held online as a one-day event Saturday, August 7th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and
I wanted to mention one more thing, Steve. First off, I want to say, Steve, thank you for directing your husband, Linda, towards Every Man's Battle. You know how wise that was of his to do? Because a lot of times when there's pornography, there's cheating, there's sexually acting out, there's a lot of people that will make it a marital issue, but it's not a marriage issue. It's a porn issue. It's a deception issue. It's a cheating issue. And that is what needs to surgically be addressed first, right? Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate you, Steve, for directing her. Did you know about anything in the dating? Now, please know there's no shame. I knew with Connor that there was some acting out. That's why I didn't know if you knew of anything when you guys were together dating.
No,
okay.
Not during dating, not at all. And I can admit that we were sexually active and on occasion, and both of us were brought up in the church and born again Christian, but not actively going and that kind of thing.
Totally.
But it was not, I was at his house. There were no signs. I could go to the TV. I could use his cell phone. I could do any of that stuff.
So you were really sucker punched.
There was no reason.
Yeah, you were
just
it was
sucker
punched.
I could not stomach I thought I just felt so betrayed. Because
You were,
I'm like, well,
and you still are, because he's still in the process. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to
Yes.
brace yourself,
Yes.
because he's not willing yet, and he probably needs to
No.
experience more pain and consequences if he will ever be willing. And that might mean having to separate more than you already are separated. And if you have a baby with him, what I'm saying is devastating. But if he will not, if you invite him and you ask him to go to Every Man's Battle and he won't, and if he won't do any structured help whatsoever, then you have to look at setting up stronger boundaries and allowing more consequences if he is completely unwilling. Because now you've got to protect yourself and that baby from what he's doing.
It's so sad, because it's an example of if he doesn't move in the right direction, then there is no hope. But there's so much hope if all he'll do is say, okay, you're right, I need to deal with this, and I need to get the help, and then everything can change. But not until there's a willingness.
But
to go.
consequences can increase the willingness.
Yes, that's right. And you may have to, like you said, maybe tougher separation, more consequences, more pain. Let's go to New London, Connecticut. Talk with Haiti, and she's calling us from there. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. How could we help you today?
So me and my boyfriend, we both listen to New Life Radio, and I believe he called in a few days ago.
Okay.
He and I have been dating since September of 2020, and we're long distance. We actually met on a Christian dating app.
Right.
And
okay.
we have spent time together in person, and everything was great from the beginning. And then as the relationship has progressed, there's been a lot of, like, I would say traumatic events that have happened to the both of us in the last few months. And we've kind of also had, I would say difficult upbringings. And I think that has fed into our relationship becoming very, very strained. We've been fighting a lot. And I think we've also gotten to the point of really seeing each other's true colors, in a sense. And especially in the last few weeks, we've been fighting so much that we've been separate, taking breaks and not speaking to each other. And then we start apologizing and trying to talk and work things out again. And it's just back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And we even had an bad argument yesterday. And it's to the point where I'm like losing hope, even though I was very much in love with this person, and I still am. But
well, let me just mention something to you. What's happening is what needs to happen in dating and having a relationship over time. Your true colors are coming out. This is why high school sweethearts really have a really good chance of staying married a long time or forever, because the true colors are there. You know the person and their history. So his true colors have shown anger is the color, and that produces problems in you. And so if he doesn't get the anger taken care of, the engagement would have been an endorsement that it's okay, and then the marriage would have been another endorsement of it being okay. And I'm just excited that you didn't do that. You weren't willing to move forward. Sherry, what are you? You're right there, ready to say something.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah.
So you guys live how many states away, or how far are you from each other?
Well, I'm all the way in Connecticut on the East Coast, and he's on the West Coast in California. So pretty much the opposite sides of the country.
Yeah. Guess what? I dated my former husband long distance. We dated for a year long distance and then got married. And you know what happened to me? I got an introduction into reality. It got really real fast. And there was a lot of things I didn't know. And I hear you, Haiti. I hear that you, like all of us, when we first meet someone, we fall in love. But my long distance relationship, we were always up when we saw each other. But what happened is, once we came out of that idealized state, like Steve said, and reality hit the fan, I was already married. So my question to you is, what is a lovely lady like you in New Jersey doing with a man who is all the way across the states? Why are you fighting for him amidst all that you're struggling with?
We'll be back after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and really glad that we were able to provide some help here. I'm going to send her, is this the one? But I just want to reinforce kind of what you were saying there, Sherry. It's long distance. There's anger. If it becomes short distance, there's more opportunity for anger. There might be a great opportunity to just say maybe not.
Heidi, I love your awareness. I love your awareness, and I love the awareness that you know that both of you have come from some hurt and pain. I guess my question to you is, like, I'm wondering when your dad left, like how young you were when you felt disconnected from your dad.
Well, my dad didn't leave, but I will say they're still together, my parents, but they definitely had a very tumultuous and even toxic marriage at times, and their fighting and their, incompatibility, I would say, is what has really made my childhood difficult, and I think has led to a lot of the issues I have now as an adult, in a way.
Yeah, you know why? Because, and thank you for sharing that, having grown up with parents that were fighting and toxic, you know what that does to a little girl's heart? What it does is it tells a little girl that it's not safe to be in a close, intimate partnership. Like, this can't work. And I think that's why, unknowingly, like all of us have behaviors that, all of us have things in our past that drive our behavior. But I'm listening to you going, there's like millions of men between here and Charles, right? but it makes sense when I think about how, as a little girl, it didn't feel safe to you. So it would make sense why you would date somebody long distance, because it feels like there's more control if he's not with me. Like I have more say-so over whether I feel safe with you, close or distance. But But what you've gotten you into is now you're in a long distance relationship with somebody that it's replicating what happened with mom and dad.
Yeah.
And that's why it feels very, very unsafe, because he's not there to work it out face to face, and the toxic stuff is starting to surface, which needs to.
But Haiti, I want you to make your decision of whether or not you're going to remain in this relationship dependent on how he responds to your concern. I don't want a perfect man for you, because they don't exist. I want an imperfect man who's willing to acknowledge, yes, I am, and I have a problem, and I need to get help, and here I go. I'm going to get it. Watch my behavior. See if I change. That's the kind of man I want for you. I was in a relationship with a very angry man, and I left it because of his anger. I did.
Yeah.
And there are times that that's the right thing to do. But find out if he knows it's a problem and is willing to get help for it.
Haiti, want to know what we have in common with God?
What?
I'm going to tell you. We're for you. And God is for you. And God wants the best for you. More than you could ever imagine, he wants the best for you. Now, if you leave this phone call believing that we're all here for you, and God has put us here for you because God is for you, I want you to evaluate whether or not this should go forward. And here's a really great phrase that you use. You guys took a break. Okay, I think you need a big break. I think it needs to be a 1-year break. And you say to him, let's talk in a year and let's see where we are. Or if you say if he gets involved with somebody else or you do, that's fine. But he needs about a year to work on this deep, deep anger. You can work on your problems too. But it shouldn't be a week break or 6-month break, or, if you're going to give it any hope, make it at least a year. But man, we really want the best for you. God wants the best for you. Don't settle for anything less, okay?
And Haiti, I would want to encourage you to stay on the line so we can get you hooked into one of our New Life counselors in your area. We have some great people in your area. The reason is because if I was working with you, I'd do a relationship history. We'd talk about all the guys you've dated face to face, what were the issues were, and we'd try to unpack and help you heal from this pattern that seems to be a part of your present, in this fear of being intimate because it wasn't safe in your home.
Yeah. Okay. Glad you called, and I'm going to send you. Well, let's send. What are the things we could send her? We could send her.
I think
The Soul of a Hero. Healing is a choice.
I'm sorry. Mylan Kay's book, How We Love.
How We Love.
That would be so good for her.
Soul of a Hero for him, and I'll send her our gift when people support us. The 100 Days of Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. Larry, are you ready to share with us, or has fear and anxiety totally engulfed?
Not sure I can handle it, but I'm going to try.
Okay. What do you have for us?
3 weeks from this Saturday is the Emotional Freedom Workshop.
Yes.
It's 1 day on a Saturday on Zoom. There is not a reason or excuse I can think of from anybody why they wouldn't want to attend if they have struggles in most any areas of their life. If they just want to get unstuck and get going again, this is the workshop for you.
Mm-hmm.
Past attendees wrote this to us. I've been working hard toward change, and this workshop was like jumping warp speed through not only revelation, but through healing as well. This workshop's been exactly what I needed. I'm leaving with the answers, truth, hope, motivation, and a plan that I came for. To anybody considering this workshop, you will spend a huge amount of money and time getting this much help at home. If you're shy, this workshop is very non-threatening. You can do this, with an exclamation point.
Love that.
So that's what happens, folks. People come to these workshops and they find so much more than they were expecting, and that's what I love.
And support for us supports us doing the workshop, reaching people that need it, and that's why we're here.
Absolutely. So thank you. You can join Club New Life. That'd be great. You can make a one-time gift. You could give stock and save capital gains. there's a lot of ways you can give.
Yeah.
Just want to encourage you to do so. So thank you.
And all it takes to help us is a phone call. All it takes to help yourself is a phone call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And thousands and thousands have made that call, and it began a process of everything being different. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you, Larry.
All righty.
All right, let's go back to the phones and let's talk with Mary. She's a Club New Life member from Louisville, Kentucky, and she listens on Pure Radio. Hi there. How are you?
Fine. Just finding a side of me that I've never found before, and that's probably a good thing. But I walk hand in hand with the Lord every day, and that gets me through each day. But I have been alone for 3 years now. I was married for 57 years, and actually the marriage was probably over long before that. He had a terminal illness, but he also had alcohol and pornography, so that kind of ended things. And but I'm a firstborn, and so I've always been kind of above. I walk hand in hand with the Lord, so that has kept me going. And yet all of a sudden I'm finding that my emotions are right at the surface, and I cry every day because I'm alone. So
oh dear. And are you without friends, support from a church, anything like that?
Well, I haven't, because of COVID. I've been doing it through Zoom, but I still keep in touch with my Bible study group, and they should be starting up again soon. Okay. And I have always been very outgoing and active. I was the Bible study fellowship discussion leader. I was a Sunday school teacher. I was in the choir. I've really had a blessed life, and yet all of a sudden, some of the things that I kept buried have come to the surface.
Mary, do you think that because you have such a close, good relationship with God, that your heart should be at peace most of the time?
Well, it probably should be, and it probably is. I really feel blessed. I thank God every day for my blessings. And
so, Mary, I'm going to say something that'll sound pretty strange. Part of your relationship with God and the way you see it might be interfering with emotions that need to be felt, because you've been devastated by what your husband did, and it doesn't sound like you ever repented of it. So you can have both a strong faith and be a good Christian woman and be devastated and crying every day. Even Jesus, he cried too. You're in good company. And I think those two are hard for you to have both at the same time. We'll come back and tell you more about what to do with that.
You're listening to New Life Live. We'll be back after this. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, August 14th. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals. all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back talking with Mary, and Mary's a reminder of just how tough life can get. And it isn't easy, and loss is part of it, and if you're going through it, we want to help you any way that we can. And Alice, you want to continue there with Mary?
Mary, one of my first New Life books I read was Steve's Healing is a Choice. And in that book, he walks us through lies that many of us believe that keep us from our healing. And one of them is that as a good Christian, I should be at peace. And the Bible does seem to say that. Paul talks about being content. He learned to be content in all situations. But the Bible doesn't say that we shouldn't grieve and be upset and be angry with what we have been through. And it's being able to access those emotions in the presence of a loving companion, a loving friend, or a therapist that helps us resolve what feels so out of control in the emotions you're experiencing every day.
It's so interesting, Mary, as I'm hearing your talk. You're reminding me of me at a certain stage in my life. The first
Mary, I have your book too.
Well, good.
I have your book, and I remind me of you too.
Okay, well, I'm glad about that, because you're talking. I'm like, oh my goodness, Mary and I could be sisters with another mother, right? But you know what's so interesting is I'm hearing you saying, yeah, I'm blessed. And I guess what I want to do is give you permission, instead of being blessed, to be messed. I want to bless you with messiness that needs to happen, darling, for you to heal. Like I was at a point like you when I was in all these leadership places, right? And those leadership places kind of helped me anesthetize the very pain that was happening in my marriage with Connor. And the acting out to porn, I mean, bless your heart, he had a terminal cancer. You've had so much trauma. But we as leaders can be the worst patients. Like, you know, when I had to do my trauma work, I actually hired a person who had like 2 PhDs, because I am such a wiggly worm. Like I don't want to get on the gurney. I don't want to heal. I don't want to cry and have things get messy. And so I avoided my healing. And what happened is I healed broken. And kind of like you, once I was alone and I was left to my own thoughts, like it was kind of like sludge or maybe a sewer. Like it's all of a sudden these bubbles of pain started to burp up when I was alone and left in my quietness. Those bubbles that burped up were not, I was kind of afraid to go there, and I did for a while. I went into a group and I was, trying to be the leader of the group, and then I just imploded and realized that I needed to go into my messiness with somebody who could help me heal and cry and grieve and hurt and do exactly what Alice had been mentioning. Like, we're these amazing containers, and we're not meant to hold pain and harbor pain. But you've had a lot of pain, honey. A ton of pain. Have you ever been able to be messy for an extended period of time?
I'm not sure how to answer that. I've requested prayer, and the Bible says man should not be alone, and of course that goes for woman too. I keep thinking that I've asked all the ministries that I donate to different ministries, and I've asked them to pray that I'll find a godly man, and it's.
But you know what, you're looking for. But you're looking for somebody else to fill that painful place right now that God wants to heal. He wants to heal your heart. Are you going to the grocery store? Do you go out to the grocery store?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So guess what I want you to go out to do now? I want you to stay on the line, and I want you to go out, and we're going to help you find somebody in your sweet little state of Louisville, Kentucky, that I want you to go out and begin to see. I want you to invest in yourself and enter into a deeper therapy process.
Mary, healing is spiritual, and we need spirituality for, I think, complete healing. We need God. But you keep applying spirituality when you need to get down to the heart and the flesh with another human being. Prayer is necessary and it's good. But sometimes you misapply the spirituality when you need to get down and dirty with another human being.
Well, I want to say that it seems to me that you have been given a really, really tough assignment. And that assignment is to fix the loneliness and isolation in those moments back home when you're alone. You've got some people that you're connected to, but I want you to be able to feel connected to folks and not feel desperate and needy when you're there at the house alone. So I would encourage you, because you've got a lot of time to do some things in the evenings, I would encourage you to find a great women's Bible study in addition to whatever you're doing in a women's Bible study. Another support group in addition to whatever support group you're going to. Go through grief care. If you've been through, do it again. And then find something that you love you've never learned to do, a hobby, a sport, or something. And just start getting out of your house and replace that lonely isolation with activity where there are healthy people that are doing things. Maybe it's even volunteering at a pregnancy center one evening or a mission or something. But I know this, the more time at home alone, the more desperate we feel, the more just unhealthy that we feel. We feel like we've been left out of the world. So I'm encouraging you to start doing something that gets you out of the house more in the evenings and connected with other people. Anything else you want to say, Alice or Sherry, as we close out this?
We love you, Mary.
Yeah,
I so want you to get your deeper healing because I think you're a mentor. I think you are a mentor.
That's good.
And I want you to go as deep and wide in your own work so that God can use you even more than he already has.
Yeah. All right. Glad you joined us here. And by the way, if you're listening, we've got so many great resources for you. And our resource that we're giving folks, of course, is 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. It's a great devotional book to start the day or end the day with. I think it'll really help you. We love these books. They're not only beautiful, but they're so well done. Also, don't forget, if you've got a man in your life, or you are a man in your own life, The Soul of a Hero, the last book Dr. Dave Stoop and I wrote, 7 different things that help men be heroic without having to find somebody desperate to rescue. I think you'll really enjoy that. And then Time with God is something we think is so important that when you join Club New Life at $30 a month, or if you increase by 10, we send you a wonderful bright green shopping bag, and in it is a Restoration Bible. Boundaries have no limits. What is it? There's a Boundaries book by John and Henry, and then
a best-selling Boundaries book.
Yes, and we've got 7 ways to choose healing, and there's a journal. The New Life Journal is there also, and so we'd love for you to have that as our way of saying thank you for joining Club New Life. We'll even try to find out what the title of that Boundaries book is. Hey, have a great weekend. We love you. We'll see you back here. Hope things go well for you. God is for you. Don't forget that. He loves you. So do we.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.